Okay, hi, mommy. I don't know how to turn this camera around, so let's just do it like this. Hi, welcome back. So I'm gonna now talk about making beans. I'm making the whole Christmas dinner meal, but I'm doing it in separate sections so that you can mix and combine however you want to do it. Okay, Alejandro's gonna take over. So what I'm doing right now is just showing you a basic recipe for plain beans. I'm making black beans. So if you come over here, you need to come over here. If you look, I have 3 pounds of beans that I left soaking overnight here, and it's just in cold water. 3 pounds of beans, black beans, nothing special about them. Soaking since 9:30 last night, and it's about close to 2 right now. And I'm draining the beans of that water. There's a whole controversy about whether you should drain it or not, or you should cook it. I drain it because I think it helps to control the farts. So you're less farty, you're getting rid of some of that gas. And you're going to then refill it with cold water, being the key word here. You're supposed to separate your beans before you put them in here. Make sure there's no rocks, or you take out the bad beans, but I never do that, so that's just going to be up to you and how you want to do it. I've never actually had a rock in my beans. Maybe in Colombia that happens, but I think that they're pretty well sorted here in the United States, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so you want to cover your beans with water, enough water to cover them. And what we're going to do is just put them on the stove on high right here. And what we're going to use to season them for now, just the starting point, you're going to use a bay leaf. Okay, just simple bay leaf. You take one out. There's 3 pounds of beans here, so a whole big bay leaf. A little one if it's just for you and Garrett. Like if you're just going to do a 1 pound, it's the same process. You're just going to have to make sure and keep inside the pot of the pan. You want a pot big enough to hold whatever liquid you got going on in there. Can you just make sure that you're focusing it right, because you're like all over the place. Okay, then so this here is let me show you. This right here is garlic. This is a head of garlic. That's what a head of garlic looks like. We're gonna put only a couple of cloves of garlic in there. And what I do with the garlic before I put it in there, the easiest way to manage it is to simply take it, put it on the cutting board like that, and get a big knife like this one and just kind of smash it like that. That way it's really easy to get rid of the skin, and you just throw it in there like that. And it's 3 pounds, so I'm gonna do 2 cloves of garlic. Nice and easy like that. You see, there you go. You don't have to peel, it's just like that. And we're gonna do about half a onion, and that's all we're doing. We're not gonna do salt. We do not add any salt to the beans until they are tender. Otherwise, they will never be tender. And it's just gonna be cooking in high, probably for about an hour and a half. Make sure that it doesn't dry out. If it needs more liquid, you add more liquid. Once it's dry, once it's tender, then we're gonna come back and I'll show you how to season them. Okay, thanks. We're gonna take care of those beans. They've been cooking for 2 hours now. We're gonna do the seasoning piece of it. I'm just I put a pan in there with some oil, and it's now hot. And I can tell it's hot because there's a little shimmering. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little shimmering that happens. That tells me that the oil is nice and hot. You want it like that. I'm gonna add to that. I have about 3 whole green onions in here, 2 tomatoes, and 1 whole regular white onion that's being chopped up in small pieces. And all of that is just being put in here into the hot oil. Hi, Serge. That all goes in here. Okay, and you want to get it all in there. And to that seasoning, you're gonna add your salt, your pepper, your Colombian seasoning. And I know that you don't have Colombian seasoning, so in your case, you're gonna use Sazon Goya. The Goya that you have in your plate works fine. And I'm adding a lot of salt. I don't know how much this is. This looks like maybe 2 tablespoons of salt. because remember that the beans don't have any salt added to them. So right now we have to make sure that we get the seasoning in there. I'm gonna start out with that, and then I have my salsina, which is what gives it the sabor, the Colombian sabor. And I'm gonna dump all of this in here. But you can use your sazon Goya, not a problem. Okay, and you just want to saute that down and make sure all the flavors meld. I add to that a little bit of garlic, minced garlic. Remember that your dad, I can't open it. So Alejandro's gonna open it. But a little bit of the minced garlic goes a long way here. So a little bit of minced garlic, little teaspoon of garlic in there. And we're gonna just make sure that this cooks down a little bit here. Just like that. And we're gonna add that seasoning, that's the actual seasoning, to the beans. You're gonna take out whatever onion there is. Remember, we put a whole onion in there. You take it out. The beans are tender, and I can tell they're tender because you see, I'm crushing them very easily with my fingernails. So you can do that, and you know that they're tender like that. And now they're ready for the seasoning that I added in here. You just dump it in there like that, and you mix, and you just taste. And you keep adding seasoning to it until it gets to the taste that you want. And that's the basic recipe for beans. Now it's a little dry right now, and I'm looking to add flavor on everything. So instead of water, I'm gonna add chicken stock. And this already has salt in it, so I need to be careful not to add too much of it, because remember that I added a lot of salt to the initial taste. Okay, thanks.